Our interview is with Galen Wilkinson. Galen has been very instrumental in this Agri Museum. In fact, if it wasn't for Galen, this building probably wouldn't be here, because Galen came up one day and said, if you guys will build a building, I'll fill it. And so he's pretty well done that. So we are grateful to Galen for all his work, all the wood on the inside. The wainscoting is from Galen's farm, and so he's been very helpful in everything and really been the main emphasis behind this building. So Galen, we're going to turn it over to you and let you talk about whatever you want to, and I might have some questions I'll ask you, but we'll kind of let you get a history. Why don't you talk about the museum and how this all got started, and how we built this, and the winters you spent in here working on it, and give us some of that information.
Well, I told the fair board, I said, if you put up a building, I'll donate my stuff and fill it. See? So they took it and run. They took it and run. And we got some donations and got to going. And we worked up here all one winter on the inside, working on it, and got everything going like we wanted to. I wanted the loft up there, and we put that in. And I wanted the porch out in front. We got that. And anything else you want to know about it? And the problem is, I donated my stuff, and you can't tell where I took it out at home.
Well, tell a little bit about the lumber you had.
Well, and I had some lumber at home, and we brought a planer in here and a what do you call them, to trim the boards up.
Oh, planer.
Planer. We brought a planer in and everything, and we had that floor out there just full of sawdust and everything else. It was interesting, and we had a lot of good help, and they all worked, and nobody complained, and we've got a good board, and the board takes everything and runs. They don't complain. They help. They don't ask for any money. And we got some good young ones on. The young ones are 70 now.
Well, that's great, Galen. So, it's been a great adventure in putting this museum together. So, we appreciate all you've done, and all the wainscoting is from your lumber that you had cut.
Yeah.
Where was that lumber? All that lumber that you brought in here. Did you get it on your farm, or how?
Yeah, when the tree'd fall down, I'd cut it up and saw it up, and I got piles of it out there.
So what different lumber did you have? Tell us the different kinds of lumber you used for wainscoting.
We had a lot of cherry, walnut, butternut. You know what butternut is? Butternut is called a white walnut, butternut. It's kind of a rare, there's not any out there anymore.
All right, Galen, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, and where you were born, the different places you've lived, and when you started different jobs, when you started farming. Give us a little history.
Well, I was born up by Etna in 1925. And I went to Etna school. And my first grade teacher didn't like me. And 3 of us she didn't like. And she used to make me double up my fists and hit me with a ruler. She'd put me on her desk and sit in front of it. She set me out in the hall chair where everybody could see me. And several times she'd give me the devil, and I don't remember what I'd done. But she's my favorite teacher. Can you imagine why? When I took my report card home that spring, my mom started crying. I'd flunked. But she's still my favorite teacher. Why?
Because you learn how to adjust to different people.
Well, come World War II, I was turned 18. I'm still in school. And so they deferred me till school was out. So when they took me, I went to Indianapolis, and classmates went with me. And one classmate, I left before he did, and he says, $10, I beat you Tokyo. I says, you're on. So we got on a train and started west. They'd had a train wreck, and they thought it was sabotage. So they didn't tell anybody where we was going. So somebody got out and asked the conductor, he says, where's this train going? He says, it's going to Denver, Colorado. So I started looking for mountains. Troop trains didn't go fast. And the second day out, we found the mountains, and I got up there, and found out I got in the Air Corps. And I thought, I'm beating that guy to Tokyo. I'm going to beat him to Tokyo. And I was half done training. I got in to be a bomber as a crew member, gunner on a bomber. And we were half done training, and my friend that I shook hands with was killed already in Europe. Now, I look back, if that old bitch hadn't have flunked me, I would have been in an army, a different place, time, and I might not be here today.
So she might have saved your life?
She may have saved my life.
Yeah. Well, could you tell us when you first started farming and how many acres and what kind of equipment you used?
Well, when I come home from the Army, I'll tell you this beforehand. I've never had a mortgage payment, never had a car payment or nothing, never had a mortgage payment, never had a car payment. When I come home from the Army, where I live, it come up for sale. And Dane and my brother Dane and Dad was farming it. So Dane and Max, my brother, four of us put our money together and bought that farm. And there was no paperwork or nothing. We just give Dad the money and he went and bought it. When I going to get married, I asked Dad, I says, can I have that farm? He says, yeah. He says, let's go over and get the paperwork done. So we went over to the attorney and switched it over my name. And so that's the way I got that farm. No paperwork on us kids that put the money in or nothing, but we just knew what we were doing.
Did they have an abstract then?
Well, I had the paperwork for the farm. It was like it was clear, lien. There was no lien on it. Yeah. So about a year later, I decided I needed a tractor. So I found one, and I went in the bank at Whitley to borrow money. And I went in, the first teller, he was a younger one. I told him I needed $2,000. He says, well, I don't know, you'll have to see Al Smith or Miller. He's the next step up in the bank. So I told Alice my story. Oh, you have to see Walt Martin. He's manager. So I told Walt Martin my story. I wanted $2,000. Oh. He says, you'll have to see Moe's mayor. Moe's owned the bank. So I went in to see Moe's and told him my story. He says, well, who are you? I says, well, I used to work for you back here at the elevator. Oh, you got any securities? I said, I got a farm out there. So he went over and opened the book. Showed I had that property with no lien against it. So, get your dad in here to sign the note. So from then on, I didn't have any problem borrowing money there. Then I paid my brothers off. I give them 5% interest. No paperwork at all. I just paid them off. Then that's when I started farming.
So how many acres was that?
There was 60 acres where I was at.
And then what was your next step up?
Well, there's another farm come up for sale, 40 acres. And he wanted $12,900 for it. So I went to the bank. I didn't have no problem from then on getting money. I went to the bank and got $10,000, 5% interest. And kept paying the interest. And for 3 or 4 years, and interest started going up to 6, 7, 8%, and they never said a word. So I just kept paying 5%. So eventually paid it off. Then really how I got started, I bought 120 acres off my father-in-law, contract, see. Just paid him. Then I bought another 120 acres contract off of the guy that owned it, see. I just kept paying him off.
So you just bought that under 120 acres then?
Yeah.
Then what was your next step?
Well, I bought 3 farms on contract with their owners. See, I just paid them. Then there was 600 acres come up for sale out there, the sheriff's sale. And I decided I wanted it, so I went and got the scene about it, and they says you got to have the money on the day of the sale or a letter of credit. So I went to the bank and found out how much I could, told him what we wanted, and he says, yeah, I'll loan it to you. 8% interest. So I got the farm bought. We went in the bank, got the paperwork done, and paid the people, the sheriff off for what we had. And we had everything done, come home. My wife started looking at the paperwork. This banker charged us 8.5%. That's when the shit hit the fan. My wife, she was upset. So we called around, we get the money anywhere at 8%. Anywhere. We had 2 or 3 places. And my son says, now just wait 2 weeks. You wait 2 weeks. Don't do anything. So wait 2 weeks and the interest come down to 0.5%. So we got the money at 7.5%. So everything worked out pretty good that way.
So was that the last farm, or did you buy some after?
Well, then I had that one farm, the Amish wanted it. And that's when ground was $3,000. He offered me $4,000. And I didn't want to sell it. So finally, my brother Dane died. And he had some real estate, and I wanted that. So I went and told the Amish, I says, I'll take $5,000 an acre. He never batted an eye. So I sold for $5,000 and I bought for $3,000. But you know what the Amish got for it? He sold it. He got $7,000.
What was the first tractor? When you started, did you farm with horses?
No. Dad had horses and I helped him. But that $2,000, I bought that first Ford tractor.
What kind of Ford tractor?
8-end Ford, brand new one. It was $14.25 it cost, but then I bought some machinery to go with it.
So what progression of tractors did you buy as you?
Well, then I went from then to a Jubilee Ford, and I thought I was in hog heaven at that. Then finally I got a Super H International. And then I bought a 4020. And I thought I was in hog heaven with that.
So after the 4020, did you get any tractors besides the 4020?
Yeah, I had a 4430.
Yeah.
Your neighbors got it.
Yeah.
Then in the 80s, when everybody's going broke, that's when I bought that farm, big farm. And I went to buy a tractor, and a tractor had sat in the dealer for 2 years. And they knocked $25,000 off before they started dealing. So I bought a 450. That was my last tractor.
So tell us a little bit about your first automobile. What was your first automobile?
I come home from the Army and I bought a 41 Dodge. Used car, $1,300. That was a lot of money. Then I traded that for a 41 Plymouth. Then, in '55, I bought a brand new Ford car, Ford, for that's $1,970. And up to a year ago, my total expenses on automobiles was $13,000. That's all I ever paid for an automobile, that much. But the last one, the automobile I had was 20 years old. The brakes went out. I took it in. The guy that fixed it, he, oh, just trace it and buy another. So I traced it. I spent more for the last one than I spent all for the previous 5.
Do you remember when you got electricity?
Well, we lived up in Troy Township, right close to you for a couple times. Then we moved down where Dane lives now, just south of me. And there was and that was in '38. And they had just put electricity in.
So how did on the farming end of it, how did electricity change how you farm?
Well, technically, really all they used electricity for was lights and maybe a little electric motor for a cream separator or something.
So, did you remember when you got your first indoor plumbing? Did you?
Well, when I got that far, where I moved in, there was no indoor plumbing and no water. So a year later, after I had lived there, I got put in a automatic water pump and put one spigot in the house. One spigot. And then finally, a year later, I put in a bathroom. Got rid of that toilet. But it was an outdoor toilet for 2 years.
Do you, on your school life, you told us about your first grade teacher, but what schools did you go to, and were any of those one-room schools, or what kind of schools?
Well, where I was born, that was my grandmother's place. And grandmother died, and Dad didn't have any money to buy it.
Schools, yes.
Well, I started that where I had that favorite teacher. Then Grandma died, we had to move. And Dad couldn't find any place to move. He says, I guess I'll have to go to county farm. Well, we moved across the road from the county farm. That's right. And that's with 1936. No, 34. And the school was 2 miles away, at one-room school. And the trustee come to Dad. He says, if you let your kids walk to school, I'll give you $50. So we walked to school 2 miles for that 1 year. One-room school, outdoor plumbing, outdoor toilet, no running water, had a stove in the center of the room. Nobody complained. Nobody complained. And then from then on, I moved up to Troy. I went to school there 4 years. Then we moved down here and went to Larville and finished up.
Did you ever have to cut the wood for that stove in that first school you went to?
No, but I can remember the teacher, you know, if that stove in the middle of the room needed coal in the middle of the day, build a school, he asked a student to take the bucket out to the barn there and get a bucket of coal. And, you know, we thought that was a privilege to bundle up, take a bucket, and go out and get a bucket of coal for that school.
But that kept you warm, though, didn't it?
We never complained. We thought it was a good way of life.
What changes have you seen made the biggest impact on your life here in Woodley County? What are the changes that have taken place? You think of any changes?
Well, we just kind of grew up with all of it. But now I can't understand these kids. They don't want to work. And the teacher can't touch them. Can't touch them. And we, out there where I'm at, in a school corporation, we've wasted $30 million in the last 25 years. Built new stuff that we didn't need. You don't get your education from brick and mortar. I asked the school board, they built the new school. I said, what's broken the old one? They said, you're 3 minutes, you're up, get your ass out of here. That's right, that's what they told me.
So, when you said you walked to school 2 miles, how long did it take you to walk those 2 miles?
You know, I can't remember.
Did you have some rough weather to walk through?
It didn't make any difference what the weather was. You went to school. 2 miles.
So some days you had to start a lot earlier to walk through the snow.
Yeah, it's kind of comical. My brother Carol, he didn't like to go to school. We lived right out here across the road from the county farm. You know where it's at? And my brother Carol didn't want to go to school, so my mom take a switch, get him past the county farm, then he'd go, and them old people out there at the county farm stood there and laughed at us.
Looking back, what do you think were the best years of your life? When during your lifespan do you think was the best time?
I can't totally say. I say everything I've been in and done has been good. Everything. I don't have no complaint about anything. I got 6 good kids, and my wife raised them while I was milking cows, and she taught them right. And that to me is worth a fortune.
So is there anything else you'd like to share with us, Galen?
Well, I'm just tickled that this building is up, and we got people supporting it. Don't you agree with that?
Right.
If somebody wants to do something and they need some help, they'll do it. No, don't want no money or nothing. It's just something that needs to be done.
All right, very good. Well, thank you, Galen. We appreciate taking the time to share your information with us, and we thank you for what you've done for this Ag Museum, because without you, this Ag Museum would not be here. So
Okay.
we appreciate that. So
Thank you.
Thank you very much.